Hello, my name is Brian Parham, and I'm the owner of the Ultimate Rock Guitar Dojo for Kids in Portland, Oregon, where I teach kids to play, perform, and compose on the guitar. Today we have 11-year-old Milo, our special guest, who's going to teach his original composition, Milo's Creepy Funhouse. This lesson is most suitable to kids and beginners of all ages. To learn more about the Ultimate Rock Guitar Dojo for Kids, log on to www.urgd.org. You're up, Milo. We're going to begin by breaking down the intro. The intro is a 4-bar phrase consisting of a question, answer, question, different answer. Now I'm going to play the intro with the metronome. Although the song is at 100 beats on the recording, I'm going to play it along with the metronome at 75 beats because that's the best way to practice. You want to start slow and build your speed over time. That way your playing is clean and accurate. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that first question is built around a simple D minor chord. Now D minor contains the notes D, F, A. And so we're going to play that D with our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the, on the 7th fret of the 3rd string, the G string. We're going to follow that by taking our 2nd finger and placing it on the 6th fret of the B string. And finally we're going to take our 1st finger, our index finger, and place it on the 5th fret of the high E string. So far we have 7th of the G, 6th fret of the B string, and 5th fret of the high E string. That's a D minor chord. This entire song revolves around that chord. Now, the actual riff goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3. I'll do it again. 1 and 2 and 3. One last time. 1 and 2 and 3. Now those notes are D, again that's the 7th fret of the G string, or the 3rd string, followed by an E, which is the 5th fret of the B string. And we're going to stay on the same string, we're going to play that F again, that 6th fret of the B string, followed by 5th fret of the high E string, followed by 6th fret of the high E string. And that's kind of a creepy note. That's what makes this song a little bit creepy, a little bit odd. So I'm going to play that with the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. One last time. So that's the question. Now we're going to go to the answer. Now the answer starts exactly the same. The only difference is instead of going to the 6th note, or the 6th fret of the high E string, this time we're going to go down to a very odd and just creepy note, the 4th fret of the high E string. So this phrase goes like this. And there's a little 8th note rest in there, which gives it a syncopated rhythm. I'm going to count it out. It goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Do it one more time. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now I'm going to turn on the metronome and play the question and answer. 1, 2, 3, 4. One last time. So that covers the first two measures of the intro. Now we're going to go to the next two measures of the intro. So we have question, answer, question, different answer. Now, so the third measure goes like this. As you can see, it's exactly the same as the first measure, but just one more hit on the 6th fret of the high E string. That rhythm goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3. Right? One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Now we're going to go to the final answer of this phrase, and this is a little bit tricky because it's going to use a hammer-on pull-off. If you're not familiar with the hammer-on pull-off, it's an awesome technique, and this is the perfect opportunity to learn it. So the phrase goes like this. I'll play that again. Now I'm going to break it down. We're starting with our first finger on the 4th fret, which is actually a G sharp or A flat. Then we're going to hammer on and pull off. Now, with a hammer on, you're actually slamming your finger against the fretboard, and pull off, you're actually flicking it towards the floor. So you have a smoother transition as opposed to this. You're getting a smooth transition. Now, a good way to practice would be like this: 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And eventually, when you get good at the hammer-on pull-off, you don't even have to pick. But it takes a while to get there. Now, this phrase goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3. Now, if you look, so far we have 4, 5, 4 on the high E, and then we transition to the B string and play 6, 5. And that rhythm sounds like this: 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So I'll play everything: question, answer, question, different answer, along with the metronome. One more time: 2, 3, 4. Now the good news is, when you look at the sheet, that covered the intro. If you look at the A section, it's exactly the same. So half of your job is done. The only thing that's different on the A section is there's an extra bar. And in that bar, we just have a 4-beat rest. So instead of playing the whole A section, I'm going to just take the last answer and count that out for you with the metronome. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then new section. Let's do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the B section. Now we'll cover the B section. Now the B section is built around power chords. If you're not familiar with power chords, this is an amazing opportunity to get familiar with them because they are the heart and soul of rock and roll. And the best news of all, they're super easy to play. So we're going to take our index finger and we're going to place it on the 5th fret of the A string. And we're going to take our 3rd finger, or our ring finger, and we're going to place it on the 7th fret of the D string, making like this let's rock shape, right? Again, I'm taking my index finger and I'm placing it on the 5th fret of the A string, followed by my ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string, and I get this sound. Now that's a movable shape, which means that you can move it around. It's going to sound good wherever you play it. It's the heart and blood of rock and roll, so get really familiar with it. Now, if you can, what I like to do, and what a lot of guitar players will do, is they'll actually put their pinky on the adjacent string below the ring finger right here. So I'm going to take my pinky, I'm going to place it on the 7th fret of the G string. And what it's doing is it's doubling the octave. It just fattens up or beefs up the tone. Beefs up the sound of the power chord. If you can't do it, no problem. But you should work towards being able to do it because it's a great technique to have in your pocket. Now I'm going to play the B section. I'm going to play the first 4 bars of the B section, and then I'll break it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do it one more time. 2, 3, 4. Now let's break that down. It's starting with, again, that D power chord on the 5th fret, and we're going to play this rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Do one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. If you notice, I'm actually using the meat of my hand right here, the side of my hand, to actually kill the sound. That kind of gives it like a progressive groove. Okay, now we're going to move on to, it's going to go to the G power chord. Now we're taking the exact same shape. The shape hasn't changed at all. We're just now moving it to a different starting note. So before we start on D, now we're going to take that shape and we're going to play it on the 3rd fret of the E string, the lowest string. And that note is a G. So we're going to make our power chord shape on the G. And the tricky thing about this is it comes on the and of 4. So it's like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then it's really easy, just move it up 1 fret. That resolves on the A flat or the G sharp of the 6th string. And I say or the G sharp because technically they're the same note, just the 4th fret of the 6th string. So we got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 4. Now this is where it gets tricky. Milo's a very clever kid, and he put a lot of syncopated rhythms in here. So we have question again. He wrote this as a question, answer, question, different answer. So we have question. That's the answer. Question. Different answer. Now the trick here is it's a syncopated rhythm. So first of all, the notes are, or the chords are G power chord to F power chord. But the trick is it does not on the downbeat, it's on the upbeat. So we have 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 again. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. I'll play those 2 bars, the question and different answer, with the metronome at 75 beats. Now that covers the first 4 bars of the B section, but guess what? It also covers the next 4 bars of the B section, so your job is almost done. So far we covered the intro, we covered the A section, and we covered the first 8 bars of the B section. Now it goes into a slight transition. It's still the B section, but it's going to go from G to A to F and G. Now I'm going to break that down. We're still using the same power chord shape. We have our index finger on the 3rd fret of the E string. It's a G note. We're taking our ring finger, putting it on the 5th fret of the A string, and we're going to take our pinky, if we can, and place it directly below the ring finger on the 5th fret of the G string, or excuse me, the D string. So now we have that power chord shape, and this time we're going to use a technique called the palm mute. Now the palm mute, I'm just gently resting my hand against the, towards the bridge of the guitar over the strings. So I get a little bit of a muted, darker, more aggressive tone. And I'm going to play the last part of this B section with the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. G, A, F to G. Little riff, one more time. G to A, F, G. Now I'm going to break that down. Again, we're starting with the G power chord. We're going to do that for one full measure. The counting is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and we're going to move it up 2 frets to the A power chord. So we're going from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret with our power chord shape. Then we're dropping all the way down to the 1st fret. The shape still stays the same, and we're going like this 1 and 2. Again, we're going 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So that's another syncopated rhythm, which means the accent is on the upbeat. It's not on the 2. It's on the and of 2, so we got 1 and 2 and 3, 4 again, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So I'll play that whole section. Now here comes that riff. This is a really cool riff. We're going to put our first finger on the 1st fret, and we're going to use a 1 finger per fret position. And the riff's going to start actually with our ring finger on the 3rd fret. We're going to go 3rd fret, it's all on the E string, 1st fret, pinky, 3rd finger. So it's going, I'm going to say the fret numbers now. 3, 1, 4, 3. Again, 3, 1, 4, 3. Last time, 3, 1, 4, 3. I'm going to play the entire B section now with the metronome. And now this song is going to finish off with the, this is pretty much the same as the intro. So the first 3 bars are the same. We have, which you already learned. The only difference is after this riff, we're going to finish with a power chord. We're going to finish with an open string power chord. Good news is it's super, super easy and it only requires 1 finger. The open D power chord, we're going to start with the open D string, and then we're going to take our index finger and place it on the 2nd fret of the G string. And we're going to hit those 2 strings together, only those 2 strings together. So that last measure goes like this. I'm going to play it a few times with a metronome so you can hear it. Here we go. Count us in. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. If you have a whammy bar, that's a really good time to just gently wiggle that whammy bar for a little bit of added vibrato and intensity. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed Milo's composition To learn more about the Ultimate Rock Guitar Dojo for Kids, log on to www.urgd.org, and you can also take a moment to like us on Facebook. Thank you so much, and happy playing!